Little arts and crafts, fellas. Little arts and crafts. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed that content with the Optima battery and the Frankenstein. We were out there, man. We had a blast, had a good time. I'm really happy, though. I'm really happy with the car. Overall, it performed great. I mean, we literally were able to drive it back up onto the truck and trailer. No issues, like nothing big, nothing catastrophic. Like, I'm just very, very proud of the car. It handled great. Few little things that we obviously got to work on. I do need to add a power steering cooler. Definitely noticed that. Along with like change brake pads, things like that. Maybe upgrade to a better brake pad for sure. Couple of little stuff here and there, but overall, super proud, super happy about the overall performance of the car. But just need a better driver, you know. But we are back, obviously, in the garage. We're back at it. We working. You guys saw I got the little CNC cutter over there working, doing this thing, trying to come up with something for this car a little bit as well. Obviously, we are super close to firing this thing up. Obviously, this video is not about that. It's about brakes. I want to talk to you guys about brakes, but I do got to get it back on the lift to handle a few things before we can do all that. But brakes is a big one. You guys already know, when you guys are running this kind of power, this kind of horsepower, this kind of torque, you're gonna need to slow this thing down, not to mention the big wheels. Now, this car already has some Wilwoods on it. Not bad. I mean, it's cool for some nice street driving. The backs are actually perfect. They're fine. It's just 4-piston. I mean, you could always upgrade to a 6-piston. Bigger is always better, obviously, in this case. But we're gonna leave the backs alone because they should be fine. Really, where it comes down to, and where you really want to focus on these builds, is the front brakes. Front brakes are always going to be key. Just any car in general, if you think about it, all their weight transfer is towards the front of the car. The motor's in the front of the car, so when you stop, you're pushing forward. So you really want to upgrade those front brakes for sure. Like I said, these ones have Wilwood, but this is just like, I want to say this might just be a 2-piston. Ford, maybe. It looks like an old school style, not old school, but like one of the first Wilwoods that's on there now. But it's definitely nothing fancy. So we got some big boys. Let me show you what we're working with. Oh yeah, buddy. Look at that. Big boy stuff, you guys. If you guys are running big wheels, I recommend you guys go with the largest brake kit possible. Now, this car is obviously going to be running the bigger wheel setup, bigger stance. So we're going to get rid of these. We're going to pull this stuff off. Go with all new Wilwoods as well, just to match. So these are going to be, I want to say these are 14 or 15-inch rotor. I got to double check my paperwork, but these are big boys. Now, if you guys need the hookup on some brakes, hit up my man 80s Performance. You guys already know we deal with them all the time. For all our goodies, hit them up, 80s Performance on Instagram. Check them out. But let's get this thing opened up, man. Hit it with the old YouTube magic. Damn, Gina. Did you guys order 2 large pizzas? Because golly, I didn't know Wilwood made pizzas, boy. Look at these boxes, dude. Holy shite. I mean, look at my foot, right? I wear a 10, boys. I wear a 10. And that's a big boy. Look at these calipers, though. Golly. Bruh. Let's see, look. I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, that's what we want, but whoo. What y'all think, baby? Yeah? That'll stop. Yes, sir. That's big. That's what she said, right? Golly, look. Hello. Remember those old school Motorola's, those big old brick phones you used to carry? That's bigger than that. Man, that's nice, fellas. That is nice. I like that. Man, this thing is huge. All right, this thing is big. Okay, let's measure it. That's what she said, right? Let's measure it, because I'm almost positive these are 15-inch rotors, but I'm about to find out. Oh Lord, let's see, what is the true size? Oh yeah, baby, right there, look, 15-inch, baby, 15-inch strong, like very strong, with the 6-piston caliper. Man, those things are freaking monsters. Those are bigger calipers than the ones on my Chevelle. We got to pull all this old stuff off. Pull this old stuff off. Obviously, pull off all the old hardware. Everything is new suspension wise, guys. If you guys been following the build, everything is new underneath here suspension wise, so we might as well upgrade it. So let's get to it. Some assembly is required, as you can see. Okay, all assembly is required, really, right? But first things first, because these huge freaking monster rotors, basically you got to put the hat and the actual rotor together, which is going to involve a bunch of torque screws, lock wire. If you guys ever seen this stuff before, I mean, we can get into really detail with this stuff. That's a whole nother video right there. But there's tons of videos out there showing you how to do that. But you're gonna need this Loctite, and then you need special pliers for that guy to twist the wire to lock those bad boys in. Obviously, you're gonna need a torque wrench to have inch pounds, because you got to use inch pounds. So these are going to be all torqued to 155 inch pounds. Obviously, some pliers, cutters, stuff like that. But we're going to get to work. So first things first, we're going to put that bad boy onto that guy there. But these things are oriented, so we make sure you're doing these correctly, because for one, they only go on one way on your car, so they're directional. Where is the arrow? It's on the other side, so the arrow will be pointing a certain way, so this will only fit on one side of the car. Keep that in mind. And obviously Loctite, very important. So let's put this together first, and then we'll put together the actual hub as well.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boys.
Just like I tell you before, I get carried away, we just go. As a matter of fact, it was such a lengthy process that the camera died. But you guys get it. We got everything hooked up, ready to go here with the wires. These are safety wires, by the way, if I forgot to mention that before. They just help keep those screws where they're supposed to be. That way, when you're at high speeds, high torque, nothing comes out, shakes out. Obviously Loctited and everything else like that. But next up, we got these hubs. We got to put the studs, besides me of course, on here. So, but the issue is you got to know the lug pattern, right? So we got to know the lug pattern on what they're going to be. Now, a Chevelle is usually 5 on 4 3/4 or 5 on 120, whatever you guys want to use, metric, standard, whatever. But 5 on 4 3/4. Now, there's two ways you can really do this, right? You can really kind of take a tape measure and do it the old-fashioned way, try to measure your old studs, or I like to use this bad boy right here. This is kind of a wheel tool. They sell them at I don't know, you probably get it at Amazon, stuff like that. I'll see if I can link one down in the description below. But you take this guy, and you come over to obviously your stock hub or wheel assembly, and you come over and you're going to use the back side. So you're going to come up, I already kind of have it set right here. You kind of just go like that. You see how that went right in, and this obviously will go back and forth and adjust depending on the wheel. This goes up from 4 lug to 6 lug, so you can use either one. But you kind of set it there. Okay, you got to adjust it a little bit to kind of get the right lug pattern, and you adjust it. Okay, that's our guy right there. You come over right here. I don't know if you guys can see, that says 4 3/4, so that's our guy right there, 5 on 4 3/4. And that way, and then now you come over to the actual hub, at the hub. Now I've already kind of did this on this one, and you press this side and you see how that fits nice and straight. And if you go, let's say you went to this pattern, you see how that pattern doesn't really work, right? Obviously that's not the guy. So that one, keep on coming over. That guy right there, that's it. Move over to the next one and so on, and you just mark them, and that's where your studs will go, and that's your lug pad. And that's kind of how I do it. Check that thing out, works pretty good, comes in handy. And you can even, like, even if you go guys get a set of wheels on Craigslist, take that guy and put it and make sure it's the right lug pattern for your car. So let's put these studs on. All right, finally we got everything laid out, ready to go. All we got to do is obviously take that bad boy off, take the old one off. Got the rotor hat and everything ready to go here, caliper. But first, clearly we got to remove this thing. Just a little YouTube magic. Kale, what's up, remove the rotor, bro. We need the YouTube magic, dog. All right, we really got to remove it though, for real. Bam, there it is. YouTube magic right there. Oh, AKA YouTube magic. Kale knocked this thing out, man. So now we are ready to go. First things first, when you got to put all your brackets on, it's recommended not to put any Loctite. As a matter of fact, you don't put any Loctite because everything has to be mocked in, because you're going to end up having to shim everything and get the appropriate alignment for the caliper to the rotor, everything. So all your hardware, put it in snug, but no Loctite. So first we're going to put that bracket on here. It goes from here to here, and then we're going to add the other bracket as well that holds the caliper, and then the actual hub, rotor, all that good stuff to get everything mocked in and shim properly before we go in Loctite everything and torque everything. All right, you guys, so we got rotor installed, hub installed, caliper installed, and shimmed properly. Now I want to kind of show you guys what I like to do when you're shimming these calipers. I put a light like that underneath the rotor, and what that allows me to do is actually look down. I don't know if the camera will be able to capture it, but it'll look down, and the best way to do it is you want to see what kind of gap you have between the pads and the rotor. And if you can see the light pretty evenly on both sides of the brake pads, then that means you got a pretty good gap. If you look, it's pretty even. I don't know if like I said, I don't know if the camera's gonna capture that or not, but yeah, if you feel like if it's leaning one way more towards one brake pad or the other, you're gonna either have to remove a shim or add a shim depending on which way it's leaning. But I think we like that right there where it's at. All we got to do is pull everything back off and add Loctite. So let me do that real quick. You guys don't need to see that. And then we should have a finished rotor. So real quick, before I get any further, I want to let you guys know the torque specs. So we got the hub all greased, ready to go. The torque specs, so this top bolt is gonna be Guten Tag torque spec, German spec he calls it. No, but that's 120 foot-pounds of torque. These two guys here are 77 foot-pounds of torque. The guy down here, but you got to do it on the nut side, it's got a nut on the back side. That one's gonna be 65 foot-pounds of torque. And then these guys here that hold the caliper on, those will be 47 foot-pounds of torque. And then you're also going to have these little guys. These little guys are actually what holds the rotor to here. These are going to be 7 foot-pounds of torque or 85 inch-pounds. So if you guys don't have a torque wrench that's inch-pounds, you can do 7 foot-pounds. It doesn't take much. So don't snap those.
Much.
I feel sorry for these bastards that are out like in North Carolina, down south. I mean, how you guys deal with this humidity, dude? The humidity is ridiculous right now. It rained last couple days and got swamp butt probably over here, everything, boy. Okay, ready to go. Look, check it out, you guys. Now, look how easily this thing spins. I mean, you know that caliper is nice and shimmed properly. You hear anything? Nothing. That looking good and sounds good. I like it, y'all, man. Those things are monster brakes. Kale.
98 degrees with 32% humidity.
Oh, well, I guess it could be worse. But did you finish this side, bro? Because you going to tell me we still got to do this side? Oh, yeah, buddy. A little YouTube magic, huh? Yes, sir. We'll be ready for them shoes now, you guys. Stay tuned for that. Maybe on the next video, we might be getting some new shoes. I don't know. But we got the brakes, so that way we can stop this beast, because 800 foot-pounds of torque, you got to be able to slow that down. And this thing's going to be on some big wheels, so stay tuned, guys. We are very close to firing this thing up, so stick with me. Stick with me. I don't know if I showed you guys on that last video, but you guys remember my little fuse box cover? You guys follow me on Instagram. That's a 3D printed part right there. It's made out of polycarbon carbon fiber. That thing came out pretty freaking sweet. Well, you guys, we're going to try to clean up, man, and probably hit the shower because it's nasty out here. But guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the bell for notifications. And you guys already know, stay wrenching.